Welcome back to the Go to Go podcast, man. Episode 54. T minus, man. 1 week till the NFL season. Well, 8 days to be exact, man. Excited for this upcoming season for sure. This week got some hot or nots, and then we're going to give you our NFL power rankings for the 2023 season, man. We're going to rank them 32 through 1, man. We're going to start from 32. But we're going to kick it off, man. Hot or not? You want to start this week or you want me to kick it off?
Why don't you start off?
All right. So, hot or not, the contract talks today and just this offseason in general. Justin Jefferson will not be a Viking next season.
That's a hot take. I don't understand. Like, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, you just want to do whatever you can to get Justin Jefferson under contract, on pace right now to be the greatest receiver of all time, best receiver in football right now, arguably the most valuable player besides a quarterback in the NFL. I mean, there's nothing Justin Jefferson hasn't proven on the field, and I'm sure they'll eventually get the contract done.
Yeah, I agree with you. So another guy in contract talks, hot or not, Jonathan Taylor will not play at all this season.
That was one of mine. But I'm going to say that's not a hot take. I don't think he'll play for the Colts again. The way this stuff is going, I mean, at this point, it's hard to see any way he gets back on the Colts. Maybe he gets traded, middle of the season. But with everything going down, with him still being on the PUP list, not able to find a suitor for a trade. Now you saw the Dolphins, Colts asked for Jalen Waddle, and that's just not going to happen. Saw reports saying like the Packers were like the mystery team inquiring for Jonathan Taylor. So he has some, takers on the market, but ultimately the Colts are playing hardball. They just want too much, and I just think both of these parties right now, Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, are about as far away as you can be in terms of getting a deal done. So I really don't see how this, relationship is fixed and patched up, and Jonathan Taylor plays for the Colts again. Now, does he play at the end of the year just to play so, fill out his contract? Maybe, but I don't think the Colts are in Jonathan Taylor's future.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I think at some point this season, Jonathan Taylor is going to have to play, whether it's, the Colts or a deal gets done. I mean, this just makes no sense at all that both sides here are unhappy. You don't want to pay him. You might as well trade him, get some type of value for him. I mean, the Colts were asking for a steep price with the Dolphins. I mean, it's just not happening at all with that. But it's like you clearly don't value Jonathan Taylor, and you want Jalen Waddle, who, the Dolphins value very highly. So it's like, do you value Jonathan Taylor or you don't, man? Because that's what you're going to get in a trade package. So
Exactly. Like, they trying to trade him based off, like, other teams' value, not their own value, which is just, you don't do business like that. Yeah. You don't get anything done like that.
It's wild, man. So
it sucks because, I mean, in that offense and with, Anthony Richardson there, that could possibly be the best running offense in the league. I mean, you still got the Titans, the Falcons with Bijan, Lions run the ball. But, I mean, Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson, it's the most dynamic backfield in football if they're together. So, sucks we don't get to see that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's all my hot or not. I figured I'd answer
Yeah,
the Jonathan
so
Taylor
you
question.
pretty much answered the Jonathan Taylor one. So the other one I have was hot or not, the 49ers will regret trading Trey Lance.
I'm going to say it's a hot take. Just for the fact, at this point, I mean, you traded everything to get him in the draft a couple years back. I think they regret just trading all that compensation in the beginning. Now, that's not to say Trey Lance can't be, a good to great quarterback or even possibly a superstar somehow. But regardless of the fact of what he becomes, I think the regret is trading up for Trey Lance in that draft, getting him. Meanwhile, you knew you had Jimmy G. And I know you take Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy with that last pick, but it was just kind of just like a throw it out there. Like, we kind of like this guy. Let's just take him even though we got the quarterback solidified. And I feel like that's what really started it all when Brock Purdy came onto the scene. Then it was like Jimmy G or Brock Purdy. And then obviously, the injuries derailed the 49ers season and whatnot. And even Trey Lance, who played a game in quarter, I think? Something like that.
Yeah, last year he played one game, and then in week 2 he broke his leg on the first drive.
Yeah, and I think that week 1 game was the rain game.
In Chicago, pouring down a monsoon. So you still didn't even get, his real potential.
I mean,
or real reps at that point.
No one could throw the ball in that weather. They could barely, handle a snap. It was just a run fest. It was, a defensive type of game, a gritty, old school vibe type of game. So it's like you still don't know what Trey Lance is. Yeah, he's only played one game and he sucked in it. Well, so did Justin Fields sucked. And I'm pretty sure any other quarterback would have sucked in that game. So, I mean, I kind of hope they regret it because I feel like Trey Lance has not gotten a chance at all as being a top pick in the draft, and just not being able to even get a rep is kind of crazy. So
one I literally just thought of, staying on the 49ers in this Trey Lance topic or whatever, do you think Brock Purdy literally saved Shanahan and John Lynch's job? Because without Brock Purdy coming on and playing the way he did last year, like you just mentioned, Trey Lance was the starter going into last year. Jimmy G was there, and the way things shaped out, Jimmy G goes down and Trey Lance still goes down, and if Brock Purdy isn't, what he ended up being, and they still traded all those first round picks, and then the 49ers, arguably the best roster in football, sitting there ready to win a Super Bowl, just has absolutely no answer at quarterback. That's bad.
I don't think that would be on Shanahan considering the injuries. I mean, you had 2 capable quarterbacks, or what they thought was capable, in Trey Lance. And that just, the whole injury situation really didn't work. Now, you could say, Brock Purdy, the system around him. We know Shanahan's a good offensive-minded, coach in this league.
And I also think it's important to note Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Because there was reports, because remember, Mac Jones was supposed to go number 3 when they traded up. The reports at first were saying they wanted Mac Jones, and Shanahan was the one pushing for him.
Because he fits that Jimmy G, Brock
game
Purdy
manager,
type. Yep.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, so it's
all these quarterbacks that he's had success with.
And it's kind of funny because I think, when he drafted, he was over there in New England when Jimmy G was drafted, or am I tripping?
Shanahan?
Yeah.
He was probably with the Commanders.
Oh, yeah.
Different name at the time.
Yeah, Washington football team we'll stick with that, but I mean, Max has, been his guy.
He was there when they drafted Kirk, another perfect game manager,
That's exactly what I was thinking of. But it's been his style. Mm-hmm. So it's not surprising now if some, you got when the Dolphins called Jay Cutler out of retirement to play that one season. What are you really expecting from that and whatnot? Yeah. But I think Shanahan's on the hot seat for just not being able to close games. I mean, his whole career is, just not being able to finish.
I don't think Shanahan's on the hot seat now.
No, I mean,
he has Brock Purdy. They'll win games.
Yeah. I don't think he's on the hot seat, but it's got to be a ticking clock for Kyle Shanahan at some point.
I get what you're saying. I just think, if Trey Lance is, who they think he is at this point, trade him away for a 4th-round pick. And we literally said last week, a 3rd-round pick is, the best you'll get for him. Yeah, so a 4th-round pick, considering everything you traded away from him, if Brock Purdy doesn't, go undefeated down the season and win a playoff game, I think it's a really different story, and the 49ers are sitting here, scratching their heads. What do we do?
No, I definitely agree because, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Most complete roster in the NFL. You just look, they got the pieces to win a championship. They got the experience other than that really QB position, and then maybe, Ayuk's young, but Kittle's been in the league for some time. Debo Samuel's put in his time. CMC, he's starting to be a vet in this league. Defensive side of the ball, same thing. These guys are all got a couple years in the league.
Trent
that
Williams, he's been in the league forever.
Yeah, Trent Williams, a veteran offensive lineman who is one of the best tackles, if not, the best tackle in the NFL. So they got the experience, quarterback, coaches. Quarterback's still the only question mark with the experience, really. Being one season with a 7th-round rookie.
Yeah, there's still a possibility where, like, Brock Purdy just isn't good next year.
No, 100%. And then it's like, where do you go from there?
Well,
Sam Darnold?
Kirk Cousins' deal's up next
Sam
season.
Darnold, Kirk Cousins.
Sam Darnold, I don't know.
He
beat out Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Weren't they both the number 3 overall pick? Or was Sam Darnold 2?
2. Was Darnold 2?
Darnold was 2. I think Darnold might have been number 2.
I think so, but no, I think Zach Wilson was 2. Sam Darnold
he was number
3.
3. Yeah, 2 number 3 picks, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Pick 3rd, man. It was Zach Wilson. I was drafted 2nd for the Jets. Yeah. That was the draft of Josh Rosen.
Chosen Rosen, man. Every time, still gets me to this day.
Man, did they miss the top 1, 2? I mean, there's only 2 quarterbacks that are starting in the league. Well,
that was Baker's draft, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Baker, Darnold, Allen, Rosen, Lamar.
Yeah. That was an interesting draft.
Not one I'll forget, that's for sure. But
Baker. That's the same year they took Denzel, right?
Yeah.
They had like 2 top 10 picks or whatever.
I think he was like 20 or like
Denzel
just outside
Ward?
the top 10.
No, Denzel Ward was a top 10 pick, dog. He was like 5 or 6.
Type in Denzel Ward pick and shows up that pick 6 against Joe Burrow.
I'm pretty sure he was like damn near top 5. He was like 6.
Oh yeah, he was number 4.
4, yeah. So
I'm trying to think.
Now coming out of Ohio State, he was nice.
Still is.
No, he still is. Yeah, for sure. But
I know what you mean. The hype, especially, bro. I mean, he's got the viral hit stick as a skinny corner. I mean,
yeah, that one, the Gus Johnson play. When he was the one calling.
Hey, man. We're only a couple days away before Gus Johnson screaming on our TVs too, man. I just
think he's gonna be at the Colorado TCU game.
Is he?
Yeah.
Colorado plus 20, man. Hammer it.
Bro, Colorado's gonna be, as long as they stay healthy, they're gonna be decent, bro.
No, Max dug in for TCU. I think.
You know why I'm rocking with Colorado, man. Shout out Travis Hunter, dog, and his brother.
You want to elaborate?
Man, I'm just saying, his brother, he's from the 561. He's from here. Travis Hunter's from here.
What school he go to? I thought he went in Broward. Yeah.
Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
He went to like a school in Georgia.
Oh.
Some big school in Georgia, but he's from here.
I know he's from South Florida.
Yeah. From Boynton. But literally where we are right now.
Hey, you got to drop the low on the pod, man.
Come on now. Shout out. But yeah, his big brother played football with him, man. One of the few older, upperclassmen to believe in me when I was a sophomore, freshman. He was the reason I made the spring team. Underclassmen got moved up because of his brother. Shout out George, man.
What, in the spring game, or are you talking about sophomore year when you were playing 50 yards back?
No, in the spring game before that season. We
played the spring game that before?
Well, I didn't play, but I made because it was a bus, but I made the roster to go travel. You feel me? I traveled with the team.
That was against when we got smacked by Northwestern.
It was it was at Northwestern though. Yeah. That's when Marquise snapped. Yeah, caught like a little screen and scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those
That's
are.
the only Jit I know to lock up Jerry Jeudy in a lifetime.
Yeah, hopefully he finds a team, man.
Yeah, definitely hope so too, man.
Practice squad at least. Something.
Well, it's gonna lead us, man, to our 2023 man NFL power rankings right here, and I mean, I think we go 32-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Once we get into the top 10, we'll dive more into the teams, have some discussions, what we agree with, what we don't.
there's gonna be a lot of disagreement. I know that
Sure
for a
there
fact.
is.
But I mean, we could basically go 1, 2, 3 with 32. I think we all know who 32's power ranked, right?
Yeah, that's why I broke mine up into like tiers, especially towards the bottom. Like I'll just give them off real quick and say like what tier I have them in.
Okay.
Yeah, so the bottom 3 teams, which you mentioned, like potential first pick, Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
Whoa.
I mean, you saw him the first week. I got 32 Cardinals, 31 Rams, and 30 Bucks.
Okay, well, I got 32 Cardinals, 31 Colts. I got 30 with the Falcons, man. I'm not a believer on the Falcons.
The Falcons will be better than the third worst team in the league.
Bro, it doesn't excite me, bro. Just turn it. They run a Navy offense, man. Like,
bro, they're gonna win a few games just off time of possession, where the other team doesn't have the ball.
I still like, bro. You don't go into that game like
solid defense, and the division's bad. Like that helps them too. Like they can split with the Panthers.
It's where power rankings come in. Like,
they can beat.
I'm
Saints.
I'm not taking into account just record. It's not standings.
I agree. I'm just saying overall roster, like
they're decent, bro. But where it matters most, man, they got nothing to show for it. So I got them at 30.
I mean,
so you had you had the Bucks and who?
The Rams at 31, the Bucks at 30.
Not believing on them Rams, huh? Stafford and Cutback.
I mean, bro, they're going to be healthy in the beginning of the year, I'm sure. And then they're just going to be losing games, and they're going to sit them, bro. Like, Matthew Stafford is going to re-aggravate that elbow. Cup's going to, like, pull a hamstring or something. I mean, outside of Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp, like, what does that team have to offer?
The big three.
They nothing. I mean, we talked about this, bro. Listen, they got to pay their dues, man. The taxes are up, man. He went all out for the Super Bowl. They won. Congrats. Now you got to pay the loan back, and this is how you do it. They finally have their first-round pick next year, so the pick will be good. Keeping Caleb Williams in Los Angeles, like, come on, bro. That's a home run. Now, will it happen? I don't think so, but they should at least try to get the first-round pick. There's a few good quarterbacks, even if they don't get Caleb Williams. I mean, there's Drake May, Michael Penix out of Washington, Bo Nix. I mean, he's probably older than us at this point, but he's still a good talent up in Oregon. And then there's always that one random quarterback that just shoots up out of nowhere during the season and is a high pick. Like last year was Anthony Richardson. The year before that was Joe Burrow, literally won the Heisman as the first pick. Like, there's going to be somebody that gets picked early. So this is a good year to take a quarterback early, so be bad, Rams.
It's not John Rhys Plumlee from UCF, but moving on. I guess when they play actual games, we'll get into the UCF discussion.
If I could name you the FAU quarterback, I'd say it's not him either.
I got no doubt with that kid. 29, man. I got the Texans. I mean, do you just want to go ahead with your tier first?
Yeah, I have the Texans at 29 also.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll say the tiers. So, for me, this tier, I just put, is our young QB the answer? So, at 29, I have the Texans. 28, the Colts. 27, I have the Bears. The Falcons at 26, so I'm not really pulling feathers there. And then at 25, I got the Panthers.
Okay. So, I got 29 Texans, 28 Bucks.
Okay.
27, I got the Commanders, man. 26, I got the Panthers. And then you went to 25?
Yeah.
I got the Rams at 25, so.
Okay, so pretty much the same team. Although the Commanders, I think, will be better.
I'm not a believer in Sam Howell.
Listen, man, he's looked good this preseason. Terry McLaurin sprained his toe. Hopefully he'll be back week 1.
Jahan Dotson's
him, bro.
He is. Dotson is him. I will say that I tried to snipe him last night in fantasy. Got it stolen. So
They have a decent O line. Like they're gonna have a good run game. Eric Bieniemy bringing over that Chiefs offense. On the defensive side of the ball, they always have a solid defense. Chase Young actually playing for something. Didn't pick up his 5th-year extension, so he's playing for a contract. So, a decent linebacker core and okay secondary. They bring in Emmanuel Forbes, a rookie from Mississippi State. He's a ball hawk, so they got talent on that team. I just think, playing in the NFC East and they're going to play in, that tougher competition might hurt them schedule-wise, but talent-wise, like if Sam Howell could be, an average quarterback, this team could easily win 8-9 games, I think.
Okay, so what's your next tier, 24 through?
So my next tier I have is 24 through 20. And then I just put these teams are kind of like all at a crossroads. Like they have a potential to be contenders or a potential to rebuild. And at 24, I have the Broncos, 23 the Saints, 22 the Raiders, 21 Commanders, and 20 the Patriots.
This is where we start getting a little interesting, man. You're going to start questioning. 24, I got the Titans. 23, I got the Bears. 22, I got the New England Patriots. And at 21, man, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers down there, bro.
And who's 20?
20, I got the New York Giants. The Giants' offense runs through Saquon. Can Saquon stay healthy? They have some nice weapons. Defense is solid, but I'm taking the upside this year with some of these teams and what they could really prove from what they disappointed last season, kind of.
Yeah. So you said, I'll just touch on the Giants, and this could be, NFC East bias just to make my Eagles look better when we sweep these teams. But I think I was lower on the Giants in the beginning when we did our rankings, but they won 8 or 9 games last year. We thought they'd win damn near 2-3. Dable's coming back. Another year of Daniel Jones, who I'm with you. I'm not a believer in Daniel Jones, but in this system they built around him. Another year, Saquon is back. They finally got him a true number one in Darren Waller. Now, he's not a receiver, but, the reports are coming out of training camp. I saw one report, a beat writer talking about, they literally had to take Darren Waller out of practice just so Daniel Jones would stop throwing at him. That's how much he's getting targeted. He's that good. He's been really, really productive for them in this offseason and during camp. So I think this Giants team has a little bit of upside, and I think they can, be looking for that, wild card spot, maybe looking to try to contend, but I'm not going to say they're going to go out there and win a Super Bowl. But I definitely think, I don't think a rebuild or them taking a step back is really, really a big possibility. Now, got to talk about the schedule and stuff. We looked at all that. Tough schedule, they got some hard games there, but overall as a team-wise, talent-wise, I think this Giants team is only looked down upon because of Daniel Jones, and I don't think he's a world beater at quarterback, but I definitely think Daniel Jones can, give you enough to keep this Giants team just a tick above average.
I'm not mad at it. And
then hold up. You had the Steelers in here, right?
Oh yeah.
What number?
Steelers. Got the Steelers at 21, man.
Nah, I think that's just too low for the Steelers, man. Shout out Big Nate. Shout out Lil Bro Jack. I just think they're going to be better. Kenny Pickett has been, one of the best players in preseason this year. I think he's led, every single drive he's led in the preseason has ended in a touchdown.
Is that your preseason winner?
Yeah, the Steelers, bro. Deontay Johnson, he's going to score a touchdown this year. He went all last season. Over 100 targets, didn't even score a touchdown. George Pickens, I feel like he's going to be more of a big boom or bust player, but the highs are going to be really high. That defense, TJ Watt's on the field. They have a shot to beat anybody. Maybe not anybody, but they have a shot, to compete in games. They got a solid defense. Highsmith, a decent pass rusher again. They bring in some younger players. You got Minka back there still. All about him.
Not a believer in him, I'll tell you that. He got no heart.
And then Mike Tomlin, bro, he doesn't coach bad teams. So I don't think there's just I don't see a scenario.
One of these years, man, he's gonna go 7-9, and his Steelers nation's gonna fall apart.
That's gonna be this year.
Yeah,
no, I think
as long as T.J. Watt just does not go for 22 sacks,
tear his peg again or whatever you have.
I don't wish injury upon a player, but he's the heart and soul of that team, and he is legitimately one of the greatest pass rushers in the league. So
yeah, like if he stays healthy,
I give him a shot.
I'm not,
like you said, those are borderline playoff contenders, or they're looking for something else.
Yeah, like I'm not the biggest Kenny Pickett fan on earth, or Steelers fan, but I definitely think he's shown throughout training camp and this preseason that he's taking the next step, and bro, he can take the Steelers to be playoff hopefuls. Maybe win a first-round playoff game. I
might blame it on social media just for bringing out that Kenny Pickett fake slide. I'm like, bro, why is everyone...
bro, that was like 2 years ago.
I kept seeing it posted the other day, bro, and I'm just like, bro, he pump faked a slide, bro. Like, that makes him good at it. Like, I hate the dude, bro, just because of that, man. And he plays in this. But legitimately, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you put him anywhere. Now, if you got him better than like 16, 17, and then we get maybe 15.
Oh, I do. Well, they're in that area, but I got them higher.
I guess we'll see where you really put them. But what's your next tier, man?
So the next tier I got is playoff hopefuls, and this is the tier the Steelers are in. So at 19, I got the Titans. 18, I have the Vikings. The Lions at 17. Your Cleveland Browns at 16. Giants at 15, Packers 14, and the Steelers coming in at 13.
So let me get this right. Didn't you have the Steelers last in the division, or you had the Browns last in the North?
Was it? I don't know. I think
that was like the first.
It might have been the Steelers, and now I have them third.
All right, maybe scheduled power rankings. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just say it one more time, man, because I think you had the Packers over the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Packers at 14, Browns at 16.
Shout out Big Max. I'm fucking with you, bro, but that is ridiculous. So what you did numbers 19 through 15?
Yeah, but okay, yeah, give yours and we'll talk about it.
19, I got the Vegas Raiders, man. 18, I got the Packers. 17, got the Broncos. 16, got the Saints. And 15, I got the Seahawks.
Okay. And then 14 and 13.
Oh, you had 14 Jets, 13 Vikings.
Okay. So get into it. I mean, from your list, it sounds like you're a lot higher on the Raiders. I don't think they'll be that good.
The Raiders, I mean, I got the Raiders at 19. They're kind of like that borderline team to rebuild. They got the league's leading rusher in Josh Jacobs. He got his contract. He's back happy. They got Devontae Adams on the outside. Hunter Renfrow coming back is one of the best, Yeah. Previously, he was one of the best route runner slot guys in the league at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Darren Waller. The defense, a bit of a question mark, but they got a great pass rusher in Max Crosby who can get to the quarterback. So he can make plays. And I think the Raiders now, they had horrible year. Everything that happened, the way they let Derek Carr go, maybe not the most professional, kind of a Raider way they did it.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, with the Raiders, the only thing I just worry Jimmy G holds them back.
You think? I mean, I think him and Derek Carr are kind of like similar.
Yeah, but Jimmy G's always hurt. Like, he's going to get injured. Something's going to happen now. They did have a good showing from their rookie, Aiden O'Connell, this preseason. He was one of the biggest risers. But, I mean, it's going to be different in regular season, playing real games. And then that defense, man. I mean,
it is shaky.
Outside of, Max Crosby and, Raiders fans get on their hands and knees and praying Chandler Jones can turn back the clock for a year. Like, they literally, there's not much on that team. Like, I don't know. I'm just not high on the Raiders. And then let's get into this Packers 19. And Brown argument, bro, or discussion.
I got the Packers at 18.
So there's a planet, there's a reality, there's a way. If the Browns, okay, Deshaun Watson, what's his ceiling?
MVP. What's
Jordan
his floor?
Love, okay.
What's Deshaun Watson's floor? Very, very bad, to be honest. So
exactly. Like what we saw at the end of
bust.
last year.
Yes, I will say that, yeah.
Jordan Love has a lower ceiling, but I think at this point he has a higher floor.
Higher floor. I agree.
So
I can agree with that.
The Packers,
just because he's young.
And in the, you know, the system they're going to run, Matt LaFleur, he's made Jordan Love look very comfortable to start the season or the preseason and training camp. I like the Packers' weapons better on offense. The Cleveland Browns on defense, it's close. There's no Myles Garrett on the Packers. I'll give him that. Myles Garrett probably pushes them over a little bit, but you got to think. Rashawn Gary is coming back. Before he went out last year, I think was leading the league in sacks, one of the best pass rushers in the league up to that point. He's really solid. They got Jair Alexander, one of the lockdown corners in this league. So, I mean, listen, the talent is there. The Packers always have a solid defense. I think that defensive unit is going to be good. And then I think we see a lot of young players step up on the offense for the Packers. And then if those outside weapons don't produce, you can still hand it off to Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. We know what those two can do. They've produced in the league time and time again, and that offensive line is always going to be good.
Definitely a solid 1-2 punch in the backfield. Now, there's a lot you said there. It's just very contradicting. When it comes to skill position, you like the receivers better on the Packers?
So I think the young guys on the Packers in the skill group can step up and be more productive. Yes.
So Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore.
Amari Cooper is the one I'll give you. A proven number one receiver in this league. He'll get his no matter what. Outside of that, there's question marks.
So there's not question marks with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs.
I mean, there's question marks, but they're projected to get better. Elijah Moore, we've seen his best season already. It was his rookie year.
And he had 1,000 yards, didn't he?
Yeah. What happened last year?
He didn't play.
On the Jets. Who did the Jets have at receiver?
Who did the Jets have at quarterback, bro? Like, you're going to put that on Elijah?
I'm just saying, like, there's no competition in that room. Who else?
Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, you know, he's not crazy.
We know he is
solid
at this
player,
point.
deep threat.
A okay number 3 receiver in the league.
Okay, Cedric Tillman, who monster
rookie.
Eagles. Yes, unproven, just like, you know, Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, sort of.
Okay. There's more upside with the Packers receivers, though. And Tillman is a rookie. So, rookie,
Christian
there's
Watson
upside, but he's shown flashes in preseason, I'll give you that, but he hasn't shown proven in the league. Christian Watson.
Romeo Doubs hasn't proven in the league, if anything.
But he still had.
Aaron Rodgers threw him to the Wolves and to the bench to where he played, and they didn't have a receiver.
Okay, but he still had those reps last year in practice, even a few games, and he was banged up, but he still got NFL reps, NFL experience. Christian Watson, he came in at the end of the year, had like 9 touchdowns or something crazy like that. We saw what he could do. They got 2 rookie tight ends, Luke Musgrave, I guess, or whatever.
The tight ends.
Everyone's raving about him, and you know all the Packers beat writers on Twitter and stuff like that. They're saying he has the potential to be, you know, the best skill player on that team.
I will say he has a higher ceiling than Njoku. But
Njoku, at this point, we know what he is. It's
solid.
Average NFL tight end.
With Deshaun Watson, I think he'll make him look better than average. But, yeah, I mean, we kind of know what to expect from him. You know, running back, you could say A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones. You could throw him Dalvin Cook. I'm taking Nick Chubb over all 3 of them.
No, I would. What I would say is if you combine A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, you get 1 step below Nick Chubb.
Okay. And then we go to defense. You know, you mentioned Rashawn Gary, Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's a nice pickup. He'll be playing
Dalvin Tomlinson, also another interior big body, which the Browns struggled with last year. They really needed tackle help, defensive side of the ball. They got one of the best and can rush the passer from the interior. I think he had like over 5, maybe like 6, 7, 8 sacks. It was some crazy
solid
number.
run presence for the Giants over his
career.
Career.
Linebacker, I'm not sure exactly the Packers situation at linebacker.
Well, they got what's his name? The rookie from Georgia last year. The one that got kicked out of the game for he like
Targeting?
got mad at in the locker room against the Lions or whatever. I forgot his name. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean, yeah,
They might be able to win the linebacker position. And then we go into secondary, Jair, proven player, very good. Him and Denzel. You might say Jair's a step above Denzel, but it's not like Denzel's 12 steps behind him. And then you get into CB2, CB3. I'm taking Martin Emerson over what's his name?
Rasul Douglas, Eric Stokes. I mean, these are okay options.
And then
I think the number 2, number 3 is
Greg Newsome.
I think they're pretty much on the same level. I'll give you the cornerback group. I think it's pretty much even.
And then safeties, I mean, it's pretty much. I'm not sure what the Packers safeties are.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Darnell Savage still back there? I don't know,
bro. But I'll take Grant Delpit, who's a first round pick, and Juan Thornhill, who Super Bowl winner in Kansas City. But
I don't know, man.
I'm just, and then I'll probably get the Packers. Maybe left tackle. Who's the Packers left tackle? He's probably
Bakhtiari coming back healthy.
Oh, he's still then he's 50 years better than Jedrick Wills. So
yeah,
I'll give him that. But I think the Browns have a more complete O-line.
Yeah, but the Packers are still gonna have a good O-line.
No, it's still solid. And Bakhtiari just elevates it even more. With the fact that Packers unproven Jordan Love, I see where you're getting the optimism from, but me personally, I respect it.
I'm just basically banking on
Jordan
Love's safeness over Deshaun Watson's volatility. Like, yeah, Deshaun Watson can be an MVP candidate if he turns back the clock to what we saw in 2020 and go absolutely crazy with that offense. But we also saw him last year be not good at all. And we saw Amari Cooper have his best numbers with Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun Watson comes in. Amari Cooper kind of just disappears. So a lot of question marks. A lot of bigger question marks, I think, surrounding the Browns. Whereas the Packers is, okay, can you project these guys getting better? And then for the Browns, it's like, okay, we've seen these guys be good. Then they kind of, slow down. Can they get back? And I think it's always harder to get back to being good than, hitting that first peak into being a good, solid NFL player. So that's just why I got the Packers higher than the Browns. Now, it's not like I got, the Packers winning the NFC. I only have them 2 spots ahead of the Browns. So I do believe these teams are pretty even, but I would just personally give the nod to the Packers.
Okay.
And then when you talk about, conferences, AFC versus NFC, the divisions.
They're in a weaker conference. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that was what we went to 13 right there.
So the next tier I have is just a few things holding these teams back from being true contenders. And at 12, it's from 12 to 5. So at 12, I got the Seahawks. 11, Ravens. At 10, I have the Jags. 9, the Dallas Cowboys. 8, Jets. Bills at 7, Dolphins at 6, and the Chargers at 5.
Chargers at 5. So similarly, same category, I believe, as you. But 12, I got the Lions.
Okay.
11, got the Cowboys. At 10, I got your Chargers. 9, I got the Jags one step ahead.
Can't hate on the T-Law love.
8, Baltimore Ravens. 7, Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't hate it.
6, Cleveland Browns. Just one step ahead of the Bengals, just like they'll be this year. Number 5, I got the Miami Dolphins. Well, I think you just went to 6, didn't you?
No, I went to 5. I had the Chargers at 5 and Dolphins at 6.
So I got the Dolphins at 5. I got them one step ahead of you, but I mean,
to me, the main thing that sticks out is the Browns, and we talked about the Browns, down. And you know what?
The Bengals at 7. You're not mad at that? I felt like that might ruffle.
I'm not mad at it. I honestly had the Bengals around here at first, but then I had to bump them up a little bit into my contenders category, just because of if Joe Burrow is healthy and he's on that field for the Bengals,
they got a swinging chance. Yep.
I just think they're better. I mean, we've literally seen Joe Burrow. Like, what was that game against the Titans? He was the most sacked quarterback in the playoff game, and he beat them. Like, he's played behind the worst O-lines before. He's played with where his best, weapon on offense was T. Higgins his rookie year. He was solid. The defense has always been decent for the Bengals. Now, I know they did lose a couple names, but I think overall the Bengals will be a good team. So having them at 7, I can understand if they take a step back. Maybe, Burrow's injury lingers a little bit, a couple injuries here and there, or they could honestly just get beat out by a few teams. I don't hate it, but I do think they'll be better. Go through your list again. There was another name that stood out to me.
I think it might have been the Ravens. I had 12 Lions.
The Ravens? Where you had the Ravens at?
I had the Ravens at 8.
Okay, I have the Ravens at 11.
Yeah, you were a little lower.
I was higher on the Ravens earlier on, but I kind of took a step back on the Ravens.
The offense.
Just because of not the offense, the defense. I think the offense will be good. I think they'll put up points, but defense I don't think will be
suspect.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey already banged up. When's he coming back? He's got an ankle injury. There's just a lot of questions on that team, and if you're signing Jadeveon Clowney this late in the season, this late in the offseason, there's obviously some pass rush questions there, and you know firsthand.
Run stopper, bro. That's what he is. Take plays off, Clowney.
So, yeah, I think the Ravens will be fun. I think they'll be in a bunch of high-scoring games offensively, and I think they'll put up a few numbers. But I think they're going to have to win games in shootouts this year to me. And when it comes down to playing, those good teams like the, Bengals, teams like the Steelers, teams like even the Browns, I think, who have a, even though their offense is the question marks, their defense is not really where the questions come. So I think it'll be tough for the Ravens to kind of produce and be, that like true contender that we think. Another one, the Jets. You were a lot lower on the Jets. I got the Jets at number 8.
I got 14.
You had them at
Jets.
14, yeah.
Yeah. Before we talk about the Jets, though, real quick, I want to say, your favorite boy, Nick Wright, he had the Steelers winning the AFC North, but
I did see that. I don't think they'll win the North, but
yeah, he's clearly on drugs. But 14, he might have been doing ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers. But the Jets, man, it's the defense. I told you I love the defense of the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, from what I've seen, he has been a great teammate so far. Robert Saleh as the head coach, really, my question mark in the fact that I watched Sean McDermott coach very similar styles, both defensive guys, focus on that side of the ball. They have trouble getting it done, even with Josh Allen, one of the greatest talents right now in the league at the quarterback position. Aging Aaron Rodgers, what does he have left in the tank? More of a question mark. And then, just the uncertainty of that, kind of like the Browns, you would say. But 14 with the Jets. I got them in that Vikings category, the Lions, the Cowboys, maybe with the Chargers. But, could they be another playoff team out of the AFC East? There's a chance for sure, just because how good and talented that defensive side is and what Aaron Rodgers has done in his career. Just that wall's got to come soon for Aaron Rodgers, or sooner rather than later.
I think it could come sooner rather than later, or should I say later rather than sooner? I think this year for sure, Aaron Rodgers will be a good quarterback. Next year, yeah. Then 3-4 years from now, that's when you start getting, he'll be how old? Start playing early retirement. Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers definitely has a little bit of gas left in the tank. And then he looked really good in his preseason. I think we touched on it. That he's not going to be uncomfortable. It's his offense. He's running everything he wants. They brought over Daniel Hackett just to be Aaron Rodgers' yes man. Like, it's not like it's going to be anything unfamiliar for Rodgers. He's going to be uncomfortable. And then that connection he has with Garrett Wilson, that one drive in the preseason, I think he targeted him a bunch of times. He caught like 3 or 4 passes and caught that touchdown, that little fade from Rodgers, wearing number 17, lined up on the outside. Familiar number, familiar connection for Aaron Rodgers, looking like another number 17.
Come on, bro. There's no way you're making that comparison right now, man.
I'm just saying, in this offense with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback, we could see Devontae Adams-like numbers from Garrett Wilson this season. It's not out of the realm. there's a world where Garrett Wilson is one of the top receivers, in yards, one of the best receivers in the league, because he finally has true quarterback production. I mean, he had 1,000 yards last year. Who was his quarterback?
It didn't matter. It could have been me.
Like, so Garrett Wilson, he's gonna get it done. The AFC East, to me, I think all have really good teams, and I'm kind of higher. I think all these teams will finish a little bit better than kind of what everyone predicts, except for the Bills. But I think the Bills are still a really good team. Like, I have them at number 7, right below the Dolphins.
Oh, so you had the Bills at 7?
And the Dolphins at 6, yeah.
And then Chargers at 5. Okay.
Yeah, the Dolphins, to me, are just like, they're like the mini 49ers, bro.
Okay. Well, I feel like, too, we're going to prove that wrong maybe this year. But, I have them at 5, so I'm not – I can't argue with you.
Yeah, at 5, I got the Chargers. I mean, do you want to hear another Justin Herbert rant? Like,
nah, I think we've heard it on this.
But they have a good team as well, though. They do have a good team.
They do got some weapons. Austin Eckler and the defensive side of the ball. If they can stay healthy, make some plays.
I think the defense can be good enough. If Justin Herbert takes that MVP leap like I predicted, defense just has to be serviceable, and I think they'll be a really good team.
Mm-hmm. Since you had them at 7, I got the Bills at 4. While you talk, I mean, you could touch on your tier.
Yeah, so then the last tier I have is just true contenders. And at 4, I have the Bengals, the 49ers at 3, Chiefs at 2, and the Eagles at 1.
All right, well, I got the Buffalo Bills at 4, surprisingly, actually. I got your Eagles at 3. Got the San Francisco 49ers at 2, and I got the Kansas City Chiefs. No fatigue on this side with the Chiefs. I got them at 1.
I mean, the Chiefs, if you want to put them at 1, you have every right to. They just beat us in the Super Bowl. I mean, as long as Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce are walking out on that field for the offense, they should be favored to beat any team, I think. But I'm going to go with my Eagles, man. In terms of complete rosters, in terms of true talent, everything from top to bottom, I think the Eagles have the best roster. Now, we kind of got into this last week with the Eagles and 49ers. Let's really get into it, bro. I don't see a world with Brock Purdy as a 49ers starting quarterback where they're just better than the Eagles. I'm sorry. I don't.
You would have said it before last year. They would have said Jalen Hurts isn't a true quarterback either.
But we saw Jalen Hurts take that leap. Now, if you want to say during the season he coasted, he didn't really have to play, the team was always up because they were so good, that's true. But in the Super Bowl, when it mattered the most,
I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm just saying Jalen Hurts made sure he wasn't the reason we lost that game. Now, he had the big fumble that costed points and stuff like that. But in terms of performance, going out there, putting up, the yards through the air, throwing the big touchdown to A.J. Brown, rushing, getting, points through the ground, through the air, he did everything he needed. So I don't think there's any question marks revolving around Jalen Hurts anymore in terms of being a top quarterback in the league. Now, where do you have him? That's up to you, but I still think he's at least a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, you're talking to the guy. I put him 2 on my list.
Yeah. So Brock Purdy, going into this season, it's I don't see there's a way they're better, but I don't think Brock Purdy takes a Jalen Hurts leap, even if it's not running in terms of talent, his efficiency throwing the ball. I don't think that's possible.
The thing is, it doesn't need to be a Jalen Hurts leap. This is the same team that went to the Super Bowl, it was, one play away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs, just like the Eagles, with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. Fast forward, Brock Purdy, similar play styles. Yeah, you could say they might be the same quarterback. Who are you banking on more? I mean, at this point in their careers, I'm banking on Brock Purdy, the unproven guy. And when you talk about the most complete rosters, the Eagles took this roster from the 49ers almost similar. I can't even say it. It's
Similarly?
I can't say it. But they're built the exact same, almost from head to toe, in the exact identity of these teams. Are a little bit different in that the Eagles do have a proven quarterback versus Brock Purdy. But I mean, you look at it, both team pass rush, elite to way above average, the good, great, whatever you want to call it. Linebackers, I mean, you got two of the best linebackers on one team, and you got some solid young linebackers over there in Philly. I mean, you could really go either way with it, but this is the same team that took Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl, a guy who right now
Fam,
he gets...
At that point, you just comparing the 49ers rosters, and that shit was in 2019, bro.
But it's the same
So
thing.
if we comparing the Eagles roster and their team to the 49ers rosters and their team, whatever you want to say, who's better, who's not, they're dead even. Okay, I'll give you that. So then at the end of the day, it comes to the most important position in football, quarterback. And Jalen Hurts is by far better than Brock Purdy right now. So, I mean, I personally think the Eagles have a better roster. But if you want to argue, okay, the 49ers are better in a few places, give the 49ers the edge in terms of roster everywhere besides quarterback, then you just plug in who's the better QB. I think the Eagles easily get that nod.
Who's the better coach?
Shanahan, who you think is on the hot seat. You said it here earlier
I mean,
yourself.
like, it's been some
Can't
years,
close
but
out games. Couldn't close out the game last year against the Eagles. So, I mean,
come on. I couldn't close it. He had CMC throwing the football against the Eagles.
Listen, I'm sorry your best tackle in the league got beat by Hassan Reddick and was able to let Brock Purdy get hit. Like, I mean, that's a part of football.
I'm just saying, like, bro.
The better coach, I would say Shanahan, but it's not. I wouldn't say is
good coaches
out
get
of the
fired
water
all the time.
Nick Sirianni, I believe, is still one of the better coaches in the league. He's a solid coach. I wouldn't say he's elite, top tier. So I'll give Shanahan the nod, but I mean, it's not. I don't think it's big enough to say, you know, it's not like Andy Reid versus like Arthur Smith or somebody like that. Like, I think it's comparable, bro.
Man, like I said, I think Brock Purdy doesn't, you know, you said he's not going to lead like Jalen Hurts. I totally agree with that. I think he'll play fine, exactly how he did last year, or maybe just a little bit better. And that's all the Niners need him to do. I mean, you got so many weapons you could place in so many different ways. The Eagles, yeah, sure, they got Christian McCaffrey. They could plug and play anywhere on the offense. Same thing with Deebo Samuel.
Okay, so answer this.
So many different packages with
answer
these stars.
This. Switch Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. What team's better?
What if you put
Jalen Hurts on the 49ers and Brock Purdy on the Eagles?
It's still the 49ers.
Exactly. Because of
what? I mean, it's
Jalen
like,
Hurts. Like
it's
Jalen
just a
Hurts
team around him.
is
Every
gonna
piece is built.
Bump him up.
It's just built, bro. The way they're able to be so versatile on offense and just match up.
The Eagles can do the same
scheme. Can they?
Yes. Run the ball, throw the ball.
So,
what you want to do?
So
they can do the same thing.
So they got DeAndre Swift going on the outside one-on-one. They could put A.J. Brown in the backfield.
I'm not
run
saying
the ball.
DeAndre Swift and A.J. Brown run the ball out of the backfield can run it like Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. I'm saying they can be just as effective on the ground through different ways. Through Jalen Hurts, through a running back by committee, but Jalen Hurts as a threat with his legs. I think it's just
health out of the question. Christian McCaffrey was like, he's the guy, all-purpose receiving, running the ball out the backfield. He was considered a generational talent.
Running back is the least important position on offense.
Yeah, okay, Jim Irsay. Right.
Like, I'm just being real, bro. Like, there's a reason these guys are begging to get paid. Some of the best players in the league. It just doesn't matter anymore. Especially when you have a scheme like the 49ers where we've seen guys like Jeff Wilson, guys like Elijah Mitchell, JaMychal Hasty, like these names that we just don't, like, we forget about, have success with the 49ers because it's the scheme, bro.
And I think they out-schemed the Eagles. That's why I put them at the 2. It's not like I put the Eagles at 6 here, man.
No, but I'm just saying, the Eagles
I think
are better.
if Brock Purdy is healthy last year, the 49ers got a legit chance of beating the Eagles.
The Eagles were the most dominant. They were by far, even when Brock Purdy was in, they were a dominant team.
For a quarter.
Like, when he got injured, how did he get injured? Because he got hit by Hassan Reddick, who beat Trent Williams. Like,
bro, you telling me a quarterback's not getting sacked in an NFL game?
But I'm just saying, like, it just shows you that besides the quarterback, Eagles were dominating on every level. Devontae Smith, that catch he had, now, was it a catch? You know,
that
it was ruled a
catch
on the field.
Bro.
So
you didn't even have to bring it up. I forgot about it.
Like, That shit was a catch on the field. They were smart enough, had better awareness to get up and snap the ball before they could challenge it. Like, you want to talk about coaching?
I knew
That's
you were
on the
gonna say you
coaches,
wanna talk
fam.
about coaching.
Like, what do you want them to do?
Hey, man. I can't even argue with that one, bro. You got me there, bro.
Listen, I'm with you. The 49ers have one of the best rosters. If you want to
The
say
Eagles
the
are
best
just better.
roster in football, sure, go ahead. But when you bring up the Eagles, their roster is right up there, if not just as good or better. The only thing separating these two teams, roster and talent-wise, is quarterback. And Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. Like, there's no way you can tell me that Brock Purdy is going to be a better
Brock Purdy's
quarterback
better than Jalen Hurts.
than Jalen
I'm
Hurts.
playing,
Like,
I'm playing.
so, I mean, even you don't believe that. So,
Nah, yeah.
I mean,
obviously, bro.
similar rosters, similar talents. It comes down to quarterback. Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. Now, can the Niners have a better record? Can they have a better season? Sure, but in terms of roster and if these teams match up, like, you can go through the positions. I'm taking the Eagles, bro,
We might.
because of Jalen Hurts.
Maybe we get a little NFC Championship game. We get a little, friendly wager get going on that, man. So hopefully your Eagles can return because I'm down with it.
Bro, we can do it right now.
What if they play in the
Like,
play?
who has a better record? Like, what team is better?
I said if they play head to head.
Okay, yeah, look, even you don't believe that shit.
Let's talk next week, man. I don't know. But Kansas City Chiefs 2?
I mean, that's just Eagles bias. Listen, I already
Oh,
said.
okay,
I said if you
okay.
want to argue Chiefs over the Eagles, you have every right to put the Chiefs at 1. They beat the Eagles fair and square in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football right now, arguably the greatest quarterback ever. So I'm not hating on Chiefs at 1. I get the Chiefs at 1. I just don't get the 49ers over the Eagles. Eagles
Okay.
got to be at least number 2 for me.
They're number 3. They're not like the Browns where you put at 19 or something crazy like that.
Well, yeah, the Browns are at 16, so don't say 19.
The Browns are
3
gonna be the
spots is a big
Browns.
difference.
My bad.
Okay.
One spot's a big difference too.
When you're talking about the best teams in football, it is.
I mean, bro, it's just no bias. I went in there. I thought about it. Did some deep thinking with my inner thoughts.
Now you're.
Just had the Niners on that. I was.
So the only reason you think the Niners are better than the Eagles is just because you just feel like they're better.
Like I said, the more complete team. Whether you want to take the quarterback, like you said, Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. Not disagreeing with that. Can Brock Purdy
so
be
you
better?
don't think Jalen Hurts in that edge over Brock Purdy pushes the Eagles over the 49ers?
No,
Because he's leaps and bounds higher than Brock Purdy right now?
I think it's literally we're talking millimeter difference, but I got the edge to the 49ers.
So if the rosters are millimeter difference,
Nick Bosa,
the quarterback
defensive
puts
player
him
of the
over.
year.
Sam
Fred-
Reddick led the league in sacks last year.
Okay, was he DPOY?
He was like 4th, 3rd in voting. He had the same impact.
Okay, Fred Warner, you just said him and Dre Greenlaw, the best 2 linebackers in football.
Okay, they got us beat at linebacker.
They command the defense. You said
Linebackers, another dying position in football.
okay. They got solid
Am
DBs.
I lying? Like,
I
bro,
mean, no, linebackers are very important because I watch my team with no linebackers and I
bro.
watch
If
them
you
get
look at the
exposed.
NFL now, there's more DBs on the field than ever. Nickel and dime packages, all the everyone's
because no one's
throwing-
running the football.
exactly, bro. Like, I don't know. I'll give them to them. They have better linebackers than us, but how important is that?
DBs are solid. I might give the Eagles a little edge. They also did lose, their star safety in Chauncey Gardner.
Doesn't matter. We got Reed Blankenship, white boy, wonder.
White boy in the DBs, something we never saw before. So you
Well,
want to talk
you
about
gonna see it this year?
unknown territory?
Harrison Smith, like, are we joking?
Okay, name me another
Eric
one.
Weddle, like one of the best safeties ever. Like, come on, white
Eric
boys
Weddle
at safety
fell off,
got
man.
they got.
Isn't he a free safety though, or is he strong?
I think they're gonna play him more as a free this year. He played more of a free.
Okay, well I mean both those guys were strong safeties, Harrison and
Now,
Eric
Eric Weddle
Weddle.
was more of a free.
Free
It don't
safety,
matter.
yeah.
Regardless, they playing safety. Like, he's back.
all right. So an anomaly, my bad.
An anomaly. Those are 2 great safeties.
Yeah, 2 great safeties and 2
So
out of.
we've seen it happen before.
Anyways, I just got a little edge, man. you can disagree with it. I expected you to disagree with it, so I'm not shocked. But I think last year Brock Purdy is healthy in that whole game that the 49ers go home and they're heading to the Super Bowl. I think it was a little bit different. Now, Jalen Hurts, I had him at the number 2 quarterback in the league. So, sometimes it just doesn't pan out in a team's way. And I just see the 49ers head-to-head against the Eagles.
Based off of
it's like
if
gut instinct.
Brock Purdy doesn't get injured, this is a better team. Well, he got injured. So what do you want me to say?
Yes, but he's not injured right now. It's just like preseason rankings. Like
I'm just
he's healthy.
Listen, when
The Eagles are healthy,
when Brock Purdy is the next Kirk Cousins or next Dak Prescott, middle of the pack
underappreciated quarterback and Kirk Cousins.
Underappreciated, yeah, okay. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, but he's not a world beater. So, listen, Deebo Samuel comes out next year and doesn't name Brock Purdy as a top 5 quarterback. This roster doesn't look the same. And come talk to me. Eagles with a better O-line, better receivers. I'm taking a better tight end. Taking Dallas Goedert over George Kittle.
Skill-wise, I'm going to say no.
It's up there.
They're close, but availability.
I'll give you Kittle.
I probably give the Goddard, even though they both get injured kind of often.
Yeah, I think Dallas Goedert is one of the most underappreciated tight ends in the league, but it's close. You want to take Kittle? Sure. Quarterback, not even a question. Running back, yeah, you can have McCaffrey, but we have a committee and Jalen Hurts, so. Defensive line, I like the Eagles better. They got Nick Bosa, and that's about it.
Javon Hargrave?
Well, yeah, but we replaced him with someone better than him, so. They got Javon Kinlaw, but, I mean, if he was that good, they wouldn't bring in Javon Hargrave, so. There you go.
You're right.
Nolan Smith, the most athletic pass rusher in the league.
We haven't seen him.
You're like a 4-4, bro. Come on.
Taking a snap, but okay.
He looked good in the preseason. Elite bend.
Would you say it's Myles Garrett-esque?
He's more athletic than Myles Garrett.
You just said bend, bro. No one bends more than Myles Garrett at 6'5". Like,
is Myles Garrett running a 4.4 40? Like, come on, dog. Just pure speed, athleticism, speed rush. Myles Garrett has more. He's so much better in terms of, power to speed. He's an elite.
This shit not matting, bro. You don't need 99 speed, bro, and that's the only stat.
That shit works, bro. And for him being a little undersized, he's a good run stopper. Nolan Smith's good, bro.
Oh, I'm not knocking it, bro.
Jalen Carter, we drafted the best player in the draft at number 9. Like, what do you want? Richard Cox, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, veteran staples.
2017, maybe Fletcher and my boy Brandon.
Listen, I said
Brandon
veteran
Graham.
staples. I didn't say they're going to be.
Okay. Well, you said Brandon Graham. I was just envisioning that strip sack, man. Shout out Brandon Graham for making me happy.
Facts. Got to watch my team.
The People's Super Bowl, man. That's what I call it. Just beating Brady.
Even though Brady still had like 600 yards.
Don't matter, bro. He had that Jalen Hurts fumble. The Tom Brady.
It's not a Jalen Hurts fumble. Jalen Hurts fumble was not that bad. Well, it was maybe worse.
It was worse. I mean, no
ended
one
in
touched
points,
him.
but wasn't it wasn't the game losing moment like Tom Brady's was. Jalen Hurts still came back, scored, gave us the lead. The defense let us down.
Listen, bro, I'm not saying like Jalen Hurts was like sold, bro. I literally thought he played one of the best games of his
I'm
career.
just talking about comparing the fumbles to Tom Brady.
It was just a little joke.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, Tom Brady fumbled and lost the game on that fumble.
I bet he wished that shit was the tuck rule right there.
Not even, bro. He just lost the ball. He didn't even try to tuck it or anything.
You got any last comments on your power rankings?
Not really, man. I mean, listen, if you're going to go based off of picking teams and having knowledge of which team is better, just look at, our records from last year, and it says enough. Anyways,
I was playing catch up, bro, so I was just picking the underdogs at one point, bro. If you you really wanted me to lose by
why-
8 games, I could have lost by 8 games.
I wonder why you were playing catch up.
I was looking at it. I had 1 week where I went 3-11 because I thought this is the underdog's week.
See, like, bro, that's just like you got it.
It was
bro.
just done, bro.
The
It was
underdog's week. Week 6, wasn't it?
week 6, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dolphins lost to the Vikings, and Teddy Bridgewater was our starting quarterback.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
Man, who knows? I probably thought Tua was coming back.
no, he knew too what was that. But no, you got a good point. That's when they were just throwing him out there, concussion or
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
And if he did have a concussion, he wasn't going to be as good. So,
He played good with a concussion.
not against the Chargers and Justin Herbert.
Anyways, man.
Yeah.
Episode 54, man. Go to Go Pod, TikTok, Go to Go YouTube, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, whatever. All that, Amazon. Tune in, like, comment, share, drop a sub, man, on the tube. Until next week, man, we're going to be back with the pick'ems for week 1 of the NFL season, man. Until then, peace.